Hey, what's up? It's Matt in Japan. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're taking a look at from Transformers Studio Series, Transformers the movie. This is Deluxe Class Windcharger. This guy came to me as an early Christmas present, so I'm very grateful. Shout out to Moonbase for hooking me up in Nagoya, Japan. Anyways, let's get into the package details. Pretty standard fare here. You have the More Than Meets the Eye logo upper left. You have the 12-step conversion. Windcharger is packaged in his robot mode. You have a nice piece of artwork there. And then you see his Trans Am vehicle mode there. Transformers Studio Series, Transformers the movie, Windcharger. On the side, you get an up close of his noggin. Windcharger on the bottom, product information on the side. It does wrap around and it does show the destruction of Autobot City there. And you have a nice Autobot logo there. Deluxe class figure. On the back is where we see our product shots. And then there is a little blurb up here that says, Windcharger uses his magnetic powers to fight the Decepticons. Now, usually we do see a picture or an image from the movie of the character, but this time we just basically have the movie poster. And I think one of the reasons being is that Windcharger does not make a grand appearance in the movie. He's basically shot and killed. So yeah, there's very little to show from the movie. But anyways, you have some product shots. He converts in 12 steps from his robot mode to his Trans Am mode. And then you do get the magnetic shield there. So yeah, let's open up Windcharger and see what he's all about. Okay, here we have Windcharger out of the packaging. Before we get into his details, let's take a quick look at the accessories he comes with. He does come with one very small blaster here. Not too much detail, just cast in a gray plastic. So he does come with the blaster there. Not really a blast effect, but he does come with the thing that he casts his magnetic field from. So done in a very hard plastic. It's not soft, and that has a nice yellow tint to it. So very, very cool. And basically there's a tab on the back that just fits into the rectangle on his chest. So that just tabs into place on his chest like that. So there's Windcharger all armed up with his magnetic field and his blaster. Now, if you don't want those on him, there is weapon storage, which is very nice. Just taking this off, taking the blaster out as well. So on the back here, you do see a little piece right here where my thumb is, and then the blaster does just fit in like that. A little port right there that you can put his blaster on his butt. And then there's also a piece here, and that just tabs in the back like that. So there is weapon storage for robot mode. Okay, getting in close on Windcharger's head sculpt. This is absolutely amazing. I think they did a bang up job here. You have some light gray paint for the face. You get that piercing blue eyes. And then the whole helmet, head, upper body, and waist is done in that sort of powder blue. And just the contrast between that and the red just looks really nice. You have a little bit of detail in on the chest here. You have the painted Autobot logo there. A little bit of detail, again, on the upper torso there. And then you see the waist piece there. The arms are mostly just done in red plastic, not a whole lot of detail, but you do see a little bit of sculpted detail on the upper thighs and lower legs there. And then on the bottom, you have black for the feet. So that's how he looks from the front. From the back, he looks very solid. Again, that nice powder blue paint all the way around. And then you do see him from the back. We will see more detail in vehicle mode, but he is pretty much filled in. The only real hollow parts on this guy are on the insides of the legs, which is not a bad thing. I think it's because of transformation, so I think they did the best that they could. That's about it for Windcharger's robot mode. Let's take a look at his articulation. So right out of the box, this guy's joints are super tight. So let's start at his head. His head is not on a ball joint, rather a swivel joint right here, as you can see on the back. So his head swivels all the way around. And there is a lever back here, which does solve the problem of not having a ball joint there. So basically, if you take the lever and push it down, he will look up and then he can look down. So very, very cool. Anyways, his head can go all the way around. You have the lever for up and down movement. Going to his shoulders, there's a joint here because of transformation. So his shoulders can go up like that, but his shoulders do spin all the way around like that. And they can go out about that far. The arms are on ball joints right here. And then there's an upper bicep swivel right there. And then he has about a 90 degree at his elbows. There is a ball joint right here. If you look right there, his wrist can go down like that because of transformation. And you can also get a little bit of rotation if you turn it like that. So very, very cool. Again, very tight. Every joint on this guy is super tight. So that's about it for the arms and shoulders. Just bring that down, bring his shoulders out. So we can move on to the waist. The waist is a full waist swivel, and his legs can go all the way out. So he can do the full splits like that. These are actually separate pieces, so you can go back that much, and he can get some very nice Chuck Norris high kicks there, which is very cool. And then he does have a upper thigh swivel there. Now his knee is a little bit hard. Again, it's very, very tight on my copy. It does go about 90 until it starts to hit this back piece here. So not quite 90 degrees on the knee. And then he does have a very high ankle tilt because of the way his feet are. Basically, his feet are the back of the car. So you do have some very high ankle rocker joints, which makes him look a little bit funny. But yeah, I wish they had maybe tried to make it a little bit lower, but I think just because of the design, they had to put the ankle tilts right there. So not a big deal. But anyways, this guy's super tight, super posable. Can't wait to get him in some very cool poses. Let's do some comparisons. For the first comparison, we have his 2017 counterpart here. This is Power of the Prime's Windcharger. Next, we have Studio Series A6 Bumblebee. Next is the Walmart exclusive Retro Sea Spray. And Studio Series Brawn. Autobot Gears. And Legacy Beachcomber. Just a quick group shot here. These mini-bots really do look great together and they scale very nicely. Let's move on to Windcharger's transformation. Windcharger's transformation is really fun and actually very intuitive. Take the fist and just fold it down at that ball joint and it'll just sort of stop right there. So same thing on the other side. Take his fist and fold it down like that. Next thing you want to do is unclip this back piece from the back and then pull this down and make sure this goes all the way down. It can be a little tight there, but you want to make sure that goes all the way down like that. So it does expose these little grooves right here, and these little grooves will house this little tab on the side. You want to use these joints right here for the shoulders, and you want to basically put his arms up like that, and they'll sort of click into place on the side. And if you have it right, it'll just slide right into place. You can hear it click into place, just showing you from the back. Take that shoulder piece, put it up, and that little tab will slot right into those little grooves on the side. Click into place like so. So you should have something that looks like that. Once you have the arm set in place, there is a little tab slot connection here for the windshield. So you want to take that and just fold that back and then make sure that is tabbed into place like that on either side. So that little tab and slot connection right there will just fit in like that. And just make sure that is secure. Next thing you're gonna do is go to the legs, and this will just this whole piece here will just accordion out. So you want to untab that, accordion that out all the way till it stops right about there. Same on this side, just take this, untab it, accordion it out all the way like that. And then basically at this point you can take the wheels on the insides of the legs, turn those on the other side like so. And then at this point it does become a little bit of a shell former. There are various tabs here, 1, 2, 3, 4. So you want to make sure all these are tabbed together. So let's start at the back here, just making sure. And at this point, you can pretty much just line everything up and making sure, again, the Autobot logo there on the front is a very nice sort of point of reference to make sure everything is lined up. And then making sure that's all tabbed in together like that. So that is basically the front of the car like that. So basically now you have the tab connections right there. And then basically what you want to do is, yeah, just take this whole car part and you want to just fold it down until everything just sort of clicks into place, making sure everything is still tabbed in. And once you have everything lined up, everything should just click into place. You don't want any hollow parts. So you want to really make sure that this is tabbed into place and it feels very solid. So basically, again, squeezing everything until everything feels solid. And voila, there you go. You have Windcharger in his alt mode. All right, let's take a look at Windcharger's Pontiac Trans Am alt mode here. First and foremost, that awesome Autobot logo on the front. You have the clear blue for the windows, which I'm not a huge fan of. I kind of wish they would make up their minds with these clear parts here for the windshield. Either do like the blue, like the painted blue, or black. I just think there would be nice if there's some consistency in the windshields with all these minifigures, or the mini-bots rather. But yeah, you got some nice painted rims there, and the wheels are on pins, and he does roll like a dream, which is very nice. And I just love the big fat tire in the back and the little tire in the front. Very, very Windcharger. On the back, you have that sort of graded black part on the back. That's how he looks there. But yeah, you get the little gas tank cover there. You get the little door handles, some nice detail. And then you do have some beautiful paint on the front for the grille. You have a little bit of blue and silver there. So very, very nice. Now he does have weapon storage in his alt mode as well. So there's a little port right there, and then you would basically want to take the smaller of the tabs and then put that in like that. So he can use his force field while in vehicle mode, which is very cool. So underneath here on both sides, there's a little tab that sticks out, and the instructions say to put it on, there's a little slot on the inside of his gun. So the instructions say to put it on this side. So that just tabs into that little slot like that. But actually, if you take this and you turn it around and you slot it in on the other side, because there are slots on both sides of the weapon. So if you slot it in on the other side, it does make for a faux exhaust pipe, which I think is very cool. So I think that gives it a little bit more character in its alt mode. So I will probably be storing the weapon like that. So that's about it for Windcharger vehicle mode. Let's do some vehicle mode comparisons. Okay, here we have Age of the Prime's Windcharger next to Power of the Prime's Windcharger, and I definitely like the red on the newer figure better. And here we have Autobot Gears, Studio Series Brawn, and the More Than Meets the Eye collection Wheeljack. Let's get Windcharger changed back to his robot mode and I'll give you my final thoughts. So as Windcharger spins around on the old turntable here, this is an absolute amazing deluxe class figure. I think they did some really cool things here, especially with that lever on the back of his head to sort of make up for the lack of a ball joint so he can look up and down. Very, very clever. And just overall a very nice figure. Some beautiful paint, especially on the head. The inclusion of the magnetic force field there. Got some great articulation, some great posability. My only complaint would be in the vehicle mode with the clear plastic for the windshield. I wish they would just keep it consistent. Either paint it, keep it clear across the board. That's about it. Anyway, this is my early look at Transformers Age of the Primes Deluxe Class Windcharger. This has been Matt in Japan. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Hit that notification bell for more great content. Please follow me on Instagram and TikTok. And as always, till all are one.